After I gave birth to twins, I was accused of infidelity. My husband immediately filed for divorce and had a paternity test done on the children. In the end, he took my son away, and my daughter and I disappeared. 5 years later, I returned and attended a banquet as the long-lost daughter of a billionaire. However, his sister spread rumors that I attended the event by men. Reina, Vanessa sneered, snatching the wine glass from my hand and splashing it across my dress. Gasps erupted around us. Look at you, trying to attract a man like Dominic, she spat, her words dripping with venom. You're still the same, aren't you? Good thing my brother had the sense to separate himself from you. Her words were a knife, cutting into old wounds I thought I'd buried, but instead of crumbling, I bit back. You don't know a thing about me, Vanessa, I said, my voice steady and cold. Her cruel smile faltered for a moment before returning, sharper and more mocking. Oh, I know enough, and so does Alexander. My heart tightened at the mention of his name. Alexander, the man who once called me his wife, who had ripped my life apart, was here, watching everything unfold. Sure enough, I felt his cold gaze before I even saw him. He stepped forward, his expression unreadable, his eyes briefly flicking to the stain of wine on my dress. Vanessa, Alexander said, his voice sharp and full of irritation. He grabbed her arm and pulled her back. This isn't the place for this. Vanessa, however, wasn't ready to stop. She doesn't belong here, Alexander, she hissed, wrenching away from his grip. The tension between us crackled like electricity. I wanted to scream, to make them see the damage they had done to my life, but I refused to give them the satisfaction. Just as I turned to leave, a strong, familiar presence appeared at my side. Dominic. His expression hardened as he assessed the scene, his voice cutting through the chaos. Who is she to say my date doesn't belong here? Vanessa's face paled, and murmurs broke out in the crowd. Dominic's presence alone commanded respect, but his words were a direct challenge. Reina has handled herself with far more grace than some people here, Dominic continued, his sharp gaze landing on Vanessa. Before I could thank him, he gently guided me away. Come on, he said, his voice low but steady, let's clean this up. In the bathroom, I leaned against the cool marble sink, my reflection staring back at me. The events of the night had left me shaken, but I refused to let them break me. A knock at the door interrupted my thoughts. A woman entered, holding a stunning red dress. Dominic sent me, she said with a kind smile. He thought you might prefer something a bit more bold. I took the dress, running my fingers over the luxurious fabric. Thank you, I murmured. Once I changed, I glanced at myself in the mirror. The vibrant red dress hugged me perfectly, exuding a confidence I wasn't sure I had, but tonight, I would channel it. When I returned to the ballroom, Dominic was deep in conversation across the room. His gaze flicked to me, and he gave a small, approving smile. But before I could approach him, Vanessa intercepted me, her eyes cold and accusing. What a pathetic sight, she muttered, her voice low enough for only me to hear. Do you really think you belong here? Anger surged through me, but I kept my tone calm. Why don't you go find someone else to bother? Vanessa blinked in surprise, clearly not expecting me to fight back, but she recovered quickly, her lips curling into a smirk. You'll never be one of us, Reina, you're just a passing phase. I refused to let her words stick. Walking away, I joined a group admiring artwork in the corner, momentarily losing myself in their chatter, but the reprieve didn't last long. I felt his presence before I saw him. Alexander. He moved toward me,